Well, good to see everybody. Hope it's been a good day. Something that we've tried to do, each and every year for a long time now. It's evolved over the years, but just to give, all of our local media an opportunity to kind of, help y'all get off and running. I know it's coming out of a little bit of a dead time, but hopefully an opportunity for a lot of y'all to get a head start on some of your stories and things you're wanting to talk about and all that. But appreciate you guys coming today and appreciate the opportunity to, kick this thing off in this 2024 season. It's going to be a lot of fun. We as coaches, we love this time of year. We start over in January. That's what we do. It's just the nature of our world. But it all builds to this, everything builds to getting back on the field, everything, you're starting over in recruiting and off-season program and, mat drills and new team and new leadership and new roles and spring practice and, summer workouts and, just meetings, et cetera. It all builds to right now and getting back on the field, getting an opportunity to go play games, get a judgment every week, good or bad. So that's what it's all about. So it's fun to get it going. There's a lot that goes into, getting to this point, and I really appreciate, the work that's been put in by our staff and especially our players. But it's another year. It's a blessing. This is my I guess my 35th college football season, and it's just it never gets old, and so we're excited about it. We got a lot to do. Tomorrow we'll start our kind of our all-in meetings, if you will, with our staff. That's usually about 5 days, and we've got obviously the media day next week in Charlotte. Excited about that and the players that'll be representing us up there. And then, we're got a couple more weeks of training, with our guys, getting them ready to roll right into camp. And so we'll be starting on the 30th as far as, our admin meetings, report day, and then first day on the field will be the first. So a lot of work to do, excited about it. Lots of opportunities to improve, in all areas. Offensively for us, I think the biggest thing is just year two, making a big jump, with Garrett coming in last year and obviously we had, not everything at our disposal. We had some injuries and things like that, but just biggest thing, just, taking a big jump in year two, in totality as an offense, and then certainly for Cade, coming off of first year as a starter, seeing him, take that next step. And that's really what you want to see. And, figuring out who our best 5, best 10 are in that offensive line. I think we've got really good experience there, for the first time in a while. We got 10 guys on scholarship at receiver, and they're actually all healthy. So we're in a good place there. So hopefully, through that competition, we'll be able to create the type of playmaking and big plays that we want to have at that position. So Maffa is going to set the tone for us. Excited about the competition behind him. The biggest thing for us, again, offensively, to take the next step is just cutting down on the negative plays. Obviously had too many turnovers and those type of things. We got to improve in the red zone scoring area, and then our pass offense has got to take a big step forward for us this year. That was a big area for us of emphasis defensively last year, and we took a big step forward, and hopefully we can do that on the offensive side. And I think health and availability and depth at our skill position will be a big part of that. So excited about the competition at running back too, outside of Maffa. I think we all know, what we have there, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a very competitive group behind him, and kind of seeing how all that sorts out will be a lot of fun. Then defensively, just consistency. We're coming off a top 10 finish last year in defense. Let's put back-to-back years and let's create the type of consistency that we want. Got to improve in the red zone there as well. We didn't give up. Not many people got to the red zone a lot, but when we did, we gave up too many touchdowns in that area. That's been a big emphasis for us in the off season here, figuring out our best 4, our best 8 in that defensive line and how to best use our bodies. We got a lot of big, strong, athletic bodies there and how to use those. And I'd say the same thing on the back end. We've got a good mixture of some savvy veteran guys and a lot of really good young talent and some good experienced young talent. So we got length and athleticism, but how to best use those bodies, on the back end will be a big emphasis in camp, and then just solidifying who our top 6 are at linebacker. I think there will be a lot of competition right there. Special teams, kicker competition. Obviously, the number one thing for us there is we got to get better in field goal. That really hurt us, especially early part of the year, and we've tried to address that. And hopefully we'll have great competition there and improve their confidence with our punt returners. We think we have elite ability there, creating that confidence, with the catchers there. And then Jack Smith, we got Aiden back. Want to see Jack really. We saw it in the spring. Want to see him continue to create the type of consistency, and hopefully, he'll get a little more opportunity as well this year. And then, last year we gave up blocks. We had a turnover, and we had big play returns. And those are negatives. So, those are things that we're wanting to eliminate within the special teams this year, and excited about it. But a lot to do, a lot of work ahead. Again, this is my favorite time of year because you get a chance to really create routine and structure, and you get a chance to get back on the field with your players. And so, just ready to get it going. And hopefully today's been a helpful day for y'all to get y'all's work off and running too.
Lead us off.
Coach, as far as the spring game went, you always take quarterback stats with a grain of salt, and not too many were excited about Cade's stats, but I thought he did show that he showed signs of that maturity that you talked about, that learning curve, making the smart plays.
He had a great spring. He really did, and we don't put a lot on the spring game, good or bad. It's just one of 15 days, and it's really the one day where you kind of everything is diluted. But we evaluate him on what we've seen, each and every day, and even the summer part of it. He's in our eyes has taken the next step that we need to see to this point. Now it's got to go happen on the field, and that's what you want to see, and that's what it's all about. I just think that he's a first-year starter, and we were just so quick to just crucify people, if you will, if they're not some Johnny All-American the first time they step on the field. And if that was the standard for especially a quarterback, there's some of the best quarterbacks that have played college football and even in the NFL would have never happened, right? Guys get better, and it's a developmental game. If you're made of the right stuff and you have the talent, you got to have the talent. But if you got the talent, you're made of the right stuff, the right type of character, football character, work ethic, will to improve, then you're going to get better. And he's got all that. And so we expect him to take another big step for us, and he's really not that far. The biggest thing is just to physically mature, continue to do that. I don't know if y'all saw him today, but he looks great. He's really just in a, as you should, as you go. I was telling Eric McLean that today. I was doing a podcast with him. He was not a very good first-year starter. He's a good player, but he wasn't a very good first-year starter. But by the time he left here, he was all conference, because he was made of the right stuff, and he got better. And that's what, you can look around the country this year and look at some of these quarterbacks, Bo Nix, who his brother's on our team. That's why he pops in my head. Caleb, this guy was a 6-year quarterback, and what he finished second in the Heisman. And, his first couple of years, it was not many people writing good things about him. And, he's first-round draft pick. So, guys get better. And I think that, we just have to be careful when we are so quick to that's why I'm hesitant with young players, to just want to put too much on these guys. because I know what's coming if they don't meet somebody else's expectations. And but I'm proud of him, man. I mean, he's really worked his tail off physically. He's matured. The biggest thing for him is just, minimizing the negative plays. I mean, just too many negative plays last year as a first-year starter. And what I mean by that, well, he had too many fumbles. Just balls on the ground. He took too many TFLs, tackles for loss, that shouldn't have been a tackle for loss. He took too many sacks on him. And so those are things that you want to see him take a big step forward this year as a second-year starter. I think we will. So we're going to find out real quick in that opener. But he's worked hard. He's really grown as a leader, and we're excited about where he is to this point. And we got to go to work, man. I mean, everybody's got a lot to prove, and he's one of them for sure.
The way you guys finished last year created a lot of momentum heading into the offseason.
No question.
Do you think your guys used it in the right way up to now that they where they can build on it heading into fall camp?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, we were in a tight spot. It's been a long time since we lost 4 games around here. And now you look up, you got to play Notre Dame. A team that kicked you in the teeth the year before. And by the way, you're going to start a true freshman. You're going to start a guy that's never started a game. And and then boom, here they went. That confidence was just kind of what they needed. And man, to finish, winning 5 and who we beat and the quarterbacks that we beat, down the stretch there was impressive. And then to go beat another SEC team in a bowl game, and how we had to win it was really painful. It was just painful to have to go through those type of games. But how was there 60 points scored in 7 minutes or something? It was crazy. But to see our offense have to go do it, to see our pass offense, and to see our quarterback, because obviously our pass offense has to improve this year if we're gonna get better. We got to be more explosive there. We got to improve. Now a lot of that is again availability. We got Antonio back in that bowl game. He made some big plays. One of them was 4th down. We got Tyler Brown obviously was a beneficiary of that. Adam Randall and the confidence that he regained down the stretch, and in particular that game, all of that in totality really I think carried over into the off season. So, it's you start over. You don't get to carry any big plays or touchdowns over, but certainly the momentum I think put some good wind in their sails as they went into the off season and then started to evaluate themselves from last year and what they all got to do to get better.
Dabo, with Antonio Williams being sidelined most of the season last year, how have you seen him attack this coming season with that experience? He's
been relentless. I mean, if I could just pick one guy on this team that has transformed and gotten better in every area, it's Antonio. And that's, again, it's what I was alluding to earlier. The guy makes freshman All-American, and he's, that makes him the greatest thing ever. No, it doesn't. It just means he caught a few balls, made a few plays as a freshman. But, man, he had so much work to do to get better. And then last year, obviously, he's out. Whatever game 3, he's basically done for the year. So we were actually able to redshirt him, but man, he has grown and matured in who he is today compared to who he was when he got here. It's not even close. I mean, he has become a leader. His work ethic, his spring practice, the practice habits that he displayed day in and day out, just his overall development. I mean, I'm just really proud of him. I mean, Grish has done an awesome job with him. He's Grish's first recruiting class, if you will, was Adam and Antonio and Cole. That was his first recruiting group, and then and all those guys, are on their way in different areas, and we think are poised to, all 3 of them, to really, really help this football team. And then we followed that up last year with, Tyler and those guys. So I'm really proud of Antonio. He's kind of setting the tone for us in that room in this off season. He and Adam both.
Coach, you talked about the negative plays, and you've been coaching like 35 years, I'm sure you don't do anything much differently in practice. I mean, how do you solve that issue?
Well, I mean, just in totality or just the quarterback? Which one are you talking about?
Well,
I mean, the biggest thing is, from a team standpoint, an offensive standpoint, I don't know, we were 100 and something in fumbles lost. And if we're 50th, we're probably 11-1 last year. That's just the reality of it. But that's how small the margin is, in the game of football. We've got to win the close games. I think we lead the nation in close games since 2011, 8 points or less, and there's a bunch of them. And I think we lead by a good margin. I think we're almost 78% or so. And I don't think anybody else is in the set. I think next closest is maybe 60-something%. Those are hard games to win. But in the last 3 years, we haven't done a great job in those close games. One play, and you got different narratives and different comments and things like that. Not much has changed. So sometimes you just got to have a little good fortune. And we've had a bunch of it around here. Oftentimes we discount the impact of just a little luck. Sometimes you just have a little luck go your way, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. That ball hits the goal post with Whitesy, and it just went that way. Kayvon Wallace punches that ball out at Texas A&M. Guys going in to score, and instead of the ball going just behind the pylon, it just goes in front of the pylon. So it's a touchback. We got the ball as opposed to they got the ball on the one. Sometimes you just we've had a ton of good fortune and with health and guys being able to you go back to 2018, we pretty much had 5 D linemen and everybody else was pups, and they stayed healthy all year. And so you need a little luck along the way, and I think we've had. Some of that's just some bad luck. It's not just a fumble, a sack fumble. It's a sack fumble. Guy picks it up, perfect, scoop, score. It's not just a deflected ball. It just falls into the best player's hands, and you walk in for a touchdown. These are things that it's football. It's football. So, I think you gotta take the good with the bad. And again, we've been good. We've been good. These last 3 years in this so-called horrible, terrible era of Clemson football, we've been good. We haven't been great. I mean, I think we're in the last 3 years, we're 94th percentile in America. We've won more games in the last 3 years than 126 of the 134 Division I teams, winning 30 games. So that's 94th percentile. I think we'd all say that's good. That's an A. But to get an A+, we got to be great. And when we've been great, we've been really elite in executing our plan to win. We've been elite, in particular, when it comes to big play margin, when it comes to winning those close games, when it comes to red zone scoring, offense and defense. And, that's just the reality of it. And, for us to go from good to great, we got to win the close game. It's just simple as that. And again, we lead the nation since 2011, but these last 3 years, we're like 27th in the country. I think we're still like 11-6 in those close games, but not to our standard. And why is that? Well, when you get the ball first and goal on the one in the same game twice, and you rush for 250 plus and pass for 250 plus, and you still win a game for the first time in 128 years, that's how you get beat. When you one play in an overtime, one play in a double overtime, these are things that change momentum and psyche and narratives and all these type of things. You're not that far away, and so you just we gotta coach a little better. We gotta strain a little more. Some players got to get a little better, got to develop a little bit more, get a little bit of luck with some health and availability and all those things. So it's all goes into it. You just, you take the good with the bad. And again, we've been good, but not great. And we've been to 6 playoffs. We were great in those areas. And, I think we were like 82% number one in the country in the close games in those 6 playoff runs. It's not like we were just that much better than everybody. I mean, but we Marcus Edmond made a play in overtime. Marcus Edmond made a tackle on 4th down. It's never easy. 2016, we got to go to Auburn, and it comes to a Hail Mary, and it went our way, So we've had a ton of good fortune. So I think if you do this long enough, you understand that if you can be consistent, you'll have those special moments. But you got to be consistent to do that. You got to be consistently good at something in order to be great. And we certainly have done that. 13 years in a row, we've finished, top 20 in the country, or 13 9+ win seasons in a row, us in Alabama. We've been very, very good. But in order to have those great years, there's a lot that has to go into it. And, we're excited about another opportunity. And, it's never easy, and it's certainly not going to be easy for us. We got a tough schedule just like everybody else, and every single game that you play, especially when you're Clemson, you better show up and you better fight your butt off to execute that plan and win.